Hello everyone, this is Coach Wade and welcome back to my channel. Hopefully you guys will like, share, and subscribe. In today's video, I'm going to talk about a document. And this document is not necessarily a financial document, but it does pertain to finances. In today's video, I'm going to talk about good reasons why you should have a will. I believe that everybody should have a will, especially if you have heirs, if you have children, if you're married, you want to have a will in place. It doesn't have to be complicated. Make it as simple as possible. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and I'm going to go over some good reasons why you should have a will. Now, keep in mind, again, this is not an all-encompassing list. There's just a few reasons why you should have a will, but not all the reasons. But investigate, look further into it. But again, if you're married, you have children, you need to have a will. Everybody needs one. All right. But I'm going to share my screen right quick, so just give me 1 second. Okay, I think you guys can see this now. Make sure I put my face out of the way so I don't cover any of the words there. But we're going to talk about some of the good reasons why you should have a will. Good reasons why you should have a will. So one of the reasons here is you can choose who will take care of your children. So you have little ones, especially minors. You don't want to just leave them with just anybody, even though they may be a relative. You don't want to just leave them with anybody. You may want to have somebody that's responsible, but because you don't leave a will, it can go to somebody who is irresponsible. Because a guardian, again, will be the one responsible for all of your children's daily needs, whether it's food, clothing, shelter, education, the list goes on. All the daily needs is what the guardian will take care of. You also want to save yourself time, money, stress for your loved ones. Because when you don't have a personal representative, the courts will decide for you. It's not always necessarily a quick process. It can be something that's drug out, and it can also become very expensive for the courts to name a representative to be able to represent you, in your wishes, which won't be your wishes. It'll be whoever the court appoints. It'll be their wishes. Okay, another thing is you determine who will manage your estate. So just like mentioned before, if you don't choose who's going to manage your estate, the courts will decide for you. An executor will be the person who will oversee wrapping up your affairs, closing out all your business that needs to be closed out. The executor will take care of that. All right. But if you die with a will, you'll be a testator. Okay. When you die with a will, you'll be a testator, and you get to appoint yourself an executor, somebody that you feel will be able to represent or be able to fulfill your wishes for you. All right. You want to make sure that's a responsible person. All right. Number 4, you want to decide who gets your assets and property and who does not. You see, as a testator, you can name who your beneficiaries are, and your executor will oversee distributing those assets. And a lot of people think that wills are just for, distributing what you have, to your beneficiaries, but you can also stop people from being able to, receive assets. Let's say it's an ex-wife. Let's say one of your children you supported and throughout school, and you have a younger child, and you want to make a level playing field for them. You want to be able to give them a little more so they can take care of their education, because just like you took care of the other kids' education. So there's reasons why you want to decide who gets your assets and property and who does not, because you don't want that ex-wife to come in and or the ex-husband, come into the picture and have their hand out thinking they deserve something, because they used to be married to you. And you don't want the courts to decide that. Okay, if you don't want them to have it, you want to put that in the will. It lists exactly who do you want to be a beneficiary, of your estate. Who do you want to have certain things? Who do you want to have the things that are not listed in there? Because that could be distributed as well, and the executor will be able to handle all that for you. Number 5, provide a home for your pets. Now, this one is not really, excuse me, it's not really a great reason. I don't think I can add this in here, and this is the reason why. The law considers your pets to be property, and therefore you can't leave your assets to your pets. You can't leave your assets to your pets. Now, I've heard many stories, people say they left $1 million to their dog and things like that. Obviously, I don't think that was true, because it says the law considers pets to be property, and therefore you can't leave assets to your pets. But you can leave your pets to somebody else for them to take care of. All right. So I know a lot of pet lovers out there probably will love to give everything they have to their pets versus a real live human being, but you can't do it because pets are considered property. Number 6, leave instructions for your digital assets. Excuse me. Leave instructions for your digital assets. So you can leave digital assets to specific people. It could be photos, right? It could be your social media accounts. It could be, anything that's kind of like digital. If you want them to take care of closing out your social media accounts and all the other good whatnots, or if you want to keep it open or whatever, you can actually set it up for how that's handled. All right. You can also, number 7, lower the potential for family disputes. Oh man, I'm telling you, money or anything dealing with finances, it can change people. People that you felt that were so close to you, can turn against you because, they feel that they deserve something, because a parent can have kids, but that parent's brother or sister can feel like they're entitled to, what belongs to you or belongs to the children. It can cause friction. It can cause friction. So it's always good to have something, in place. You know why? Because if you have a complicated family dynamics, this would be a good reason to have a will because you can eliminate the guesswork. If you want your brother or sister to have such and such, you list that out. If you want your children to have such and such, you list that out. It just reduces a lot of friction so people aren't fighting over assets. I'm telling you, when people die, people change. People wouldn't expect they'll turn against you. Because they feel entitled, although even the law says it belongs to the heirs or whatever, it can create that little friction there. So it's good to have something written out. So you say, hey, I want such and such to have this, such and such to have that, my kid to have this. Eliminates that guesswork. All right. It's not going to probably eliminate everything because some people are like, how do they get that? It's just people, but you can eliminate a lot of that. All right. I think it's number 8 here. Support your favorite cause and leave a legacy. Many people want to leave a positive impact on the world after they pass, so they can put in their will. If they want to leave something behind for charity, maybe their church or anything like that. So you can actually put that in your will as well. Number 9, provide funeral instructions. You can lessen the burden on your loved ones after you pass by, again, leaving behind some funeral instructions in terms listing out, what your final wishes are. Where you want to have your funeral. What kind of setup you want to have? Who you want to have to do your eulogy? You can plan that. I know a lot of people don't want to think about, death or anything like that. Death is like the last thing on their mind, but you can actually lay it all out. Give your family time to grieve, so they're not, having to make decisions under distress. Sometimes you're under distress. You make some decisions that you wish you wouldn't have made. You have buyer's remorse. You just go out and you just blow money buying all this stuff, and the person really didn't want all that. They wanted you to be able to use those funds for yourself or for your children or whatever it is, whatever your family dynamics is. So it's good to have a will. It's good to lay out your funeral instructions. You don't have to, but it doesn't hurt. Anything that makes it easier on those that you leave behind will make it that much more better. Wouldn't you agree? Okay, it's easy to make a will and gain peace of mind. Having a will is not complicated. There's some services that are in place that can help you set up a will relatively, quick. All right, it's not as complicated as you may think. It doesn't take that much time. You want to be able to do it because you don't want the states to decide how, your assets to be distributed. You don't want the states to decide how, or who will be over your estate or who's going to be your representative. You want to be able to determine that. You want to be able to do that. Don't let the states do it because it may not be what you think it will be. All right? Because don't assume that your loved ones will automatically get an inheritance. Don't think that. When you get the state involved, don't think that they'll automatically, get an inheritance because they are your loved ones. All right. So these are some good reasons, why people should have a will in place. Point blank eliminates the confusion, folks. Eliminate the fighting. It can keep relationships in place because when people, when money's involved and things like that, and people have that friction and fighting and think they're entitled to things, it can really put a damper on your parade, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and go back to my main screen right quick. Hold on one second for me. Give me a second here. Okay, I think I got this thing set back up. It's going a little uneven there, so we're back up here. All right, so just this a little bit. So we're back. I thank you guys again for watching. This information as we share good reasons why you should have a will, but also some of you may be wondering, how do I get a will in place? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide a resource in the description for this video that's going to provide you a resource to where you can be able to get a will at a very affordable price. Okay, something that I think there's some packages involved in there too, where you can get advanced medical directives and other things like that as a package. And for the price of it, it comes out to be a lot less than what an attorney may charge you just for a will. So it is a nice little package there. And that's the only reason why I want to share it with you guys, because it's a great resource. It doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be complicated. Because there have been situations where people, die without a will and they have to get bonding. And sometimes that bond, some people like wonder, man, I wish I would spend that $300, $500, got that will versus having to spend $5,000 or $10,000 for a bond. All right. Big difference, so just take time. Find the time, to make this happen. Find the time. Many of you know that you need a will. You just don't know how to get started. Many of you know that you need to have a will, but just don't know, where to go. You don't have the information on that. So I'm going to make it easy for you guys. And I'm going to provide a resource in the description for this video where you get started and get set up with your information today, right now. Because I want to be able to provide resources to you guys, that you can actually utilize that can help benefit you and help benefit your family. As I continue to add content, onto the channel, hopefully you like it. Hopefully you find something that, can benefit you, because all the information that may not be for everybody. Maybe that particular video, but maybe another video will, and maybe none of it. It just depends on the individual, right? But I'm trying to put out as much information as I can, but take advantage of the resources that are already out there. Take advantage of the resources that are in place for you to be able to get your will, okay, taken care of, so you can have that, behind you. Okay. And then when you need to make updates, you need to make changes, be sure to do that. Because you get a divorce or, life events happen, somebody passes away, you want to be able to update your will. Okay. You want to update it. Don't just let it ride, because you'd be surprised how many people pass away and everything is left to the ex-wife, and the current wife doesn't get anything because the husband didn't update his will. Review your will. Make sure it's up to date. Make sure the people that are listed as beneficiaries are still the people you want as beneficiaries. All right. Children grow up. They're no longer grown. Update it. Okay. Don't let it just be what it is. Update it. Okay. And also just make it a lot easier on those that you leave behind. So just like with life insurance, wills are for those that you leave behind. And it makes life a whole lot simpler. Okay. Again, I will put a link in the description for the video. Great resource for you guys to be able to obtain your will, and it's called Net Law. So take advantage of that. But until we meet again, you guys have yourselves an amazing day. Take care.